And before that, Rufus Hound did his best Cheryl Cole to take the title last year. Tonight, Katie Price gives it her best moves. Let's Dance for Comic Relief, live at 7. But right now on BBC One and BBC One HD, it's Final Score.
Hello, welcome to Final Score, FA Cup 5th round action, championship battles, league action and football punditry from Steve Claridge and Matt Holland. More from them in a moment. Plenty to tell you about there. Let's bring you right up to speed with the FA Cup. And it was a 4th round replay at lunchtime. Chelsea won, Everton won on 90 minutes, but Everton going through on penalties 4-3. More on that in a moment. Birmingham 3. Sheffield Wednesday 0 being played at the moment in the 5th round. League Cup finalist Birmingham easing into the last 8 of the FA Cup. Jean Beausejour and Obafemi Martins have both scored their first goals for the club. And same scoreline at the Britannia. Stoke 3, Brighton 0 at the moment. The gulf between the Premier League and League One side very much in evidence there. Stoke cruising after goals from John Carew, John Walters and Ryan Shawcross. And we can bring you some more news now on that lunchtime kick-off in the 4th round. Chelsea and Everton, of course, playing there. Conor McNamara watching for us.
There were 2 big lessons learned here at Stamford Bridge. First of all, in the FA Cup, you should never, ever give up. Everton seemed down and out when Frank Lampard put Chelsea in front in extra time. But away from home, David Moyes' side kept their belief. And with 1 minute remaining, Leighton Baines blasted a free kick beyond Petr Cech to force a penalty shootout. And so to lesson number 2. If you're going to take a casual run-up for a penalty, make sure you score. Because despite Baines missing Everton's first penalty, Chelsea missed 2 of their own. Both Nicholas Anelka and Ashley Cole had short, languid run-ups. Both failed to score, and Everton gained revenge from their final defeat to Chelsea in 2009.
OK, let's hear from our reporters around the ground in the 5th round matches. And first of all, let's head to St Andrews. Ivan Gaskell watching a fairly, well, they're cruising, aren't they, Birmingham at the moment? 3-0, a formality, really.
Yeah, absolutely. You've summed it up very well. In fact, back to you. No, 3-0 is the score. 2-0 up at the break were Birmingham. Birmingham on course, in fact, for the quarter-finals for the 2nd year running. A very straightforward operation, as you've suggested at the very beginning. 2 goals up at half-time. Beausejour, Martins, they cut Sheffield Wednesday in half, and that 46 places, it might as well have been 100, because Sheffield Wednesday weren't really at the races. Although they did have a couple of openings, and had one of those gone in, it might just have been different. It wasn't. A third went in after the break, credited to David Murphy. It's the first time in 41 years these two have met in the FA Cup, and at this rate, Sheffield Wednesday will hope it's another 41 before they meet again.
Ivan, thank you very much. Let's go to the Britannia. Same scoreline. League One leaders Brighton. We expected maybe a bit more from them today, James Mason, but they weren't going to change their style of play.
They weren't, and credit to them. It's got them to the top of League One, but it's not been enough to out-muscle a Stoke City side. Yes, 3-0 here as well. The potential for an upset before kick-off quickly evaporating here as Brighton's quick passing football was cruelly blown away amidst a bombardment of long throws and corners as Stoke City scored early on and were 3-0 up at half-time. All 3 were headers, the first from John Carew meeting a Rory Delap trademark throw, but the second was far from formulaic as Jermaine Pennant and Mark Wilson combined to cross for Jonathan Walters to score his 7th of the season, and it was Pennant who provided the swinging deep corner for Ryan Shawcross to power home from close range for a third. Brighton haven't disgraced themselves, far from it. They just haven't been allowed into this game. A waved away penalty claim, their only moments of excitement in this second half. It's Stoke City 3, Brighton 0.
Thank you very much, James. I guess, guys, the big headline that the lead, you know, the holders, double holders, 2 years running, Chelsea out, and in some kind of dramatic fashion as well.
They're a little bit unlucky. They perhaps created the better chances today and perhaps deserved to go through. Lampard gave them the lead, but a great goal by Leighton Baines. Free kick from 25 yards into the top corner, took it into penalties. All their eggs now very much in the Champions League basket, of course, now that, you know, they look as though they're out the league title race, out the FA Cup, and just the Champions League now to look forward to.
What was interesting, though, because Torres Cup tied, you know, they didn't have that conundrum about how they're going to accommodate the 3 strikers today, and still they didn't look like they're a team.
Well, he left Anelka on the bench, he left Etienne on the bench. Anelka looked like he'd made the difference when he came on, but the game typified why both sides have struggled this year. Everton, because they haven't got a goal scorer, there's no real belief that they can go forward and win games of football. And Chelsea in recent weeks have had lacked width, they've lacked balance in their game and haven't created an awful lot. And it was another one of those frustrating afternoons for Chelsea.
OK, thanks a moment, guys. Let's head round the Championship games now. Let's go to Deepdale. Richard Askham watching top against bottom. Give us the latest.
Yes, hi Gabby. Bottom holding their own pretty well against top. Barry Nicholson with a sublime lob, cancelling out Helgeson's opener for QPR. That was his 7th of the season. A tap-in after great work from his strike partner, Ishmael Miller. Adel Tarapti is becoming a growing influence, but Preston really scrapping and holding their own in this match. 1-1.
Well, you can just see there, Leeds have got what could be a very important goal. An equaliser on 75 minutes. Damien Johnson is at Elland Road.
And it was pretty spectacular. It came from the substitute, David Sommer, who'd only been on the pitch a matter of 30 seconds or so. It's been a terrific game. Leeds led through Luciano Becchio in the first half. Lansbury equalised before the break for Norwich. And it looked like Norwich were heading for the automatic promotion spots when they got a second goal through Wes Hoolahan as he beat scrambling defenders on the Leeds line. But that was a fantastic goal from the substitute Sommer. It's 2-2.
Damien, thank you very much. It's been an afternoon of incident and drama at the City Ground. Andrew James?
Yes, Forest leading Cardiff by 2-1. They just about deserved to be in front, do Forest. They took the lead through Wes Morgan, a header from him, first goal of the season, and were on top even at the start of the second half. But then a controversial penalty awarded in favour of Cardiff for a foul on Olafinjana by Paul McKenna, the Forest captain. The replays seem to show it was inconclusive, but Whittingham scored that penalty kick. Forest, though, went straight down the other end, and of all people, Robbie Earnshaw, the former Cardiff striker, put the ball into the net in a great counter-attack to restore Forest lead, which is justified. It's Forest 2, Cardiff 1.
Aberdeen 5 now up against Kilmarnock at Pittodrie. But let's talk about those Championship games. Steve, for Leeds, well, let's talk about Nottingham Forest first of all, because they'll be up to second tonight if they win. And what a rise they've had of recent.
Yeah, it's Billy keeps saying that he wants a couple more players. Well, on the evidence of what we've seen in recent weeks, he's got more than enough because they're now to win games of football. Biggest surprise, I think, midweek in the Championship so far this year, getting beat by Scunthorpe, but they're back on track now, and it's been a
looks like
really...
that was a blip.
Yes, it's been a fantastic game of football, there's no doubt about that. Both sides really going for it. You know, you get in this situation where Forest, very accustomed to grinding out results, but it hasn't been that sort of game, so it's thoroughly entertaining fair.
Leeds hanging on to their top 6 spot at the moment. It was something of a comeback by Norwich.
Well, I mean, the Forest-Cardiff game's been a really good game, but so is the Leeds-Norwich game, 6th versus 3rd. Norwich's record away at the top teams in the top half of the table hasn't been very good, but they do score goals, as do Leeds, and they've been, lost 1 game in 18 matches, I think, in the Championship league. So terrific games, both of them in the Championship today.
Well, another team who are in that mix there, Swansea City, are going great guns today at the Liberty Stadium. Another goal as well, Jason Mohammed.
Yeah, it's far too easy for Swansea City, Gabby. Darren Pratley has just come on to a standing ovation. They love him down here. His first touch of the ball, rolled it in for Luke Moore. 3-0, far too easy. And very worrying now, Gabby, for Sean O'Driscoll. They were beaten 6-0 on Tuesday night. They have not had a shot on goal here at the Liberty Stadium. Swansea City 3, Doncaster Rovers 0.
Well, if things stay as they are at the City Ground, Swansea will be up to 3rd tonight, and obviously behind Queen's Park Rangers and Nottingham Forest, but more importantly for them, of course, above Cardiff. Let's go to Pittodrie then and hear from Ian Turner, who's had so many goals today he's lost count.
Yes, I have indeed. I think it's 5, Aberdeen 5, Kilmarnock 0. Josh McGuinness, the substitutes, just made it 5, adding to earlier goals from Scott Vernon, from Shawnee Aluko, from Chris Maguire from the penalty spot, and Rory McArdle. This has been a real turnaround. Kilmarnock, of course, flying high, 4th in the lead. Aberdeen on the way up. Aberdeen 5, Kilmarnock 0, 6 minutes left.
And let's go to Tynecastle now. Hearts pushing the top 2, Brian McLaughlin, but they were behind today. How's it going?
Well, it's still 1 apiece here, Gabby, with just over 10 minutes left for play. They went behind early on to a Barry Douglas goal after just 6 minutes. They huffed and puffed in the first half, and they got the equaliser on the stroke of half-time. Rudy Scatchell scoring just after Dusan Perni's failed to hold a Stephen Elliott shot. In the second half, it's been mostly Hearts, but they've struggled to break down a very stubborn Dundee United defence, who've looked very dangerous, I have to say, on the break. Dundee United still drawing 1-1 here at Tynecastle against Hearts.
Bournemouth and Huddersfield, second and third in League One, are the two top form teams in the division. The deadlock just couldn't be broken, could it, Tony Husband? And then it was. I haven't heard from you, though, since the goal went in.
No, and Bournemouth are the team that have made the breakthrough here after a period in which they dialed up the pressure on a Huddersfield side who are unbeaten in 8 games. Michael Symes with the goal from a Liam Feeney cross on the right-hand side. Symes getting in between the centre-halves, heading it home. That was 1-0. Should have been 2 moments later. Mark Pugh couldn't convert a cross from the right-hand side, the ball rather hitting him on the head rather than heading it towards goal. Bournemouth at the moment on course to go level on points at the top with Brighton. They're leading by a 1-0 with 7 minutes to play.
Let's go to the Valley. Charlton today welcomed many more fans at £5 apiece to almost fill the stadium. 24,000 fans there, Tony Lockwood, but they're not seeing the home side doing particularly well.
No, they're not, Gabby. Trying to win back those supporters who've deserted them as they've dropped down the divisions. They trail by 2-0. Exeter on course to complete the league double over their hosts. Substitute Liam Sercombe with the first, an effort that found a way past homekeeper Rob Elliott, and then a mistake by centre-half Gary Doherty, letting in John O'Flynn for Exeter's second. Pavel Abbott's hit the bar for Charlton. It's Exeter's afternoon. Charlton 0, Exeter City 2.
Sorry, just seen what should have been the third goal at the City ground. Do you want to talk us through it?
Well, they were on the break, Nottingham Forest, and I'm not sure who it is. Is it
Tyson?
Tyson. On the right-hand side, he's got 2 options to his left-hand side. It's 3 against 1. He goes to the goal, 22 yards out.
Goes for the glory.
Goes for the glory. There's two players better positioned.
As the defender comes across, he's just got to slide the ball in.
How would you react if you were one of those two, Steve Claridge? Nice and calm about that, would you?
I would probably be hanging off Tyson now, sort of some appendage part of him. Sort of. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be too happy with that.
Let's go to the Den. This game looked like it had 1-0 written all over it, and all of a sudden the floodgates open, and Jonathan Legend, it's been thrown into disarray.
It's extraordinary. It is now 3-2 to Middlesbrough. They were pegged back at 2-2 when a wonder free kick from Hammer Boatsa, his first goal for the club since signing on loan. He came on as a substitute. Free kick masterclass, really, because Tony McMahon's special to equalise for Middlesbrough was pretty good. And then within 4 minutes, Scott McDonald had given the visitors the lead. The game was then in danger of being suspended by the referee because missiles were sent onto the pitch by the home crowd. He had to talk to both managers, Kenny Jackett and Tony Mowbray. And then just a few minutes ago, Middlesbrough took the lead. Leroy Lita flicking home a right-wing cross. He was then booked for taking off his shirt and inciting the crowd almost. We've got, 6 minutes to go, and who knows what else is going to happen. At the moment, we've got stewards pretty much all the way around the ground maintaining crowd control, but on the pitch, it's all happening.
OK, thank you very much, Jonathan. I'm sure I'll be back to speak to you before the end of the day. I think there's some goal news from Fratton Park, though. Roger Johnson.
The most exciting thing of the afternoon, the only goal that's come to the home side. Carnu, footballing pensioner, has come on from the bench and actually brought some life to this game, and he flicked in a Halford free kick 35 yards out. Carnu ghosting in, got a faint touch to carry it past Luke Steele in what has been a turgid game. Steele has made a couple of smart saves. Barnsley have had a couple of chances wide of the target. Other than that, it's been a rotten, drab, dreary stalemate, but Carnu has just brightened things up, at least for the home fans. Portsmouth 1, Barnsley 0, 5 minutes to play.
There's only one football pension around here, by the way. Now, let's go to Adams Park. Accrington Stanley took the lead. Wycombe got the equaliser, but at the moment, they're looking for a defeat, Wycombe, because Accrington right back in this one, Mark Webber.
Stanley stuck the knife into the heart of the Wycombe Wanderers team just now. Phil Edwards unmarked, allowed to head home and return and try again to get the ball into the back of the net and return that lead into the bosom of the Lancashire side. To be honest with you, Gabby, football's fairy godmothers wave the wand and turn a pumpkin of a first half year into a shiny glass coach of a second. The greasy pitch allowing Accrington to take the lead in the first half. Wycombe got back into it and looked like they got their grip, but now it looks like it is going the other way. Wycombe Wanderers 1, Accrington Stanley 2.
You just make sure you're home before midnight, Mark Webber. Let's go to Portman Road, an equaliser there, John Anderson.
Yes, Ipswich were looking good for the points, but Hull look as if they've grabbed one themselves. The ball played in from the right-hand side, and substitute Jay Simpson with a strange, almost Javier Hernandez-like header off the back of his head and into the top of the net, past a stunned Martin Fulop to give Hull a continued record, it seems, away from home. This, if they hang on, will be their 11th game in the league unbeaten, and Ipswich, who are looking for a 4th successive home win and thought they've got it, have been stunned. Ipswich 1, Hull City 1.
A goal at the Valley, Tony Lockwood.
It's all over now. Just under 25,000 inside this stadium, Gabby, but it's Exeter's third of the afternoon. John O'Flynn, who's looked lively, brought down by Rob Elliott, who came sprinting off his goal line. It was left to Ryan Harley to step up and smash home a resulting spot kick. It's Exeter's day. Charlton 0, Exeter City 3.
And you can see there Huddersfield have got what could be a crucial equaliser at the Fitness First Stadium. Tony Husband.
It's come with only a couple of minutes to go, Gabby, and it's the former Everton striker Danny Cadamartri who's got it on as a substitute in the second half. He broke through down the right-hand side, got into the edge of the penalty area. His shot almost saved by Jalal, but it had enough on it to get over the line despite the despairing attentions of Jason Pearce, who dived across the line to try and keep the ball from going out. It went over, though, and Huddersfield are level.
This video print has been doing some training in the gym since I went and did a bit of rugby. It's very quick today. Chesterfield there with their second goal at Sinshill Bank. Naz Premji, tell us all about it.
Yes, Lincoln City 0, Chesterfield 2. It was a cross from the left-hand side and Dean Holden with a header which seemed to take an age. It was slow motion in planting itself past Trevor Carson in the home goal, and they finally put this game to bed because they've been pushing and peppering of Lincoln, but now it seems the points are going back to North Derbyshire. Lincoln City 0, Chesterfield 2.
Let's go to the Valley. Another goal. It's not a late comeback, is it?
Well, it is, but it's very late. It's been scored by Bradley Wright-Phillips, bought from Plymouth. He's had a productive start to his career, Gabby. This his fourth goal for the Addicts. A close-range finish after Gary Docherty had headed against the bar. But Exeter with that three-goal lead. Charlton bring a goal back. It's 1-3 here at the Valley.
Let's go to Selhurst Park. It's been through the video print of the goal there, Jackie, but we haven't had a chance to speak to you about Palace's lead.
Yes, the first real moment of quality in the entire match. Darren Ambrose with an absolute beauty. Flicked the ball up outside the box and he volleyed it right-footed past Steve Simonson, who stood absolutely no chance. And the goal totally out of keeping with the rest of the match, which has been error-strewn. It's been full of misplaced passes. Sheffield United without a win in 10, heading for 11, 9 of them under Mickey Adams. They've been dogged, but they haven't had enough quality in the final third. Collins and Cresswell had early chances, but not too much since. They did have an effort cleared off the line a few moments ago, though Ambrose went up the other end and skied the ball over the bar when he should have made it too. But the Blades have the work cut out now. Palace haven't conceded here in over 12 hours of football. They've used all three subs now to try and turn things around, Sheffield United. They have 2.5 minutes to go. It's Crystal Palace 1, Sheffield United 0.
Kilmarnock have been put out of their misery. That one over at Pittodrie, 5-0. Aberdeen, the winners there. Let's go to the Madejski Stadium, though, and check in with Mark Bishop, Malky Mackay's 39th birthday. Is he going to enjoy it?
A bittersweet one for, I think, Gabby. Reading 1, Watford 1. In a way, Watford have thrown this match away. Every football fan loves to watch those DVDs of infamous bloopers from those poor, long-suffering goalkeepers. And I'm afraid Scott Loach, the Watford keeper, did himself no favours today. A corner from Shane Long. It should have been meat and drink for Loach. Jumped up, 6-yard box, ready to collect, spilled the ball, dropped it, bounced into the path of Noel Hunt, who couldn't believe his luck and headed home 1-1. Young Australian striker Andreas Wayman had given Watford the lead. Good strike after a couple of lucky rebounds had bounced back to him. Sordell with a terrific effort. Federici with a brilliant save. Kebe has come close for Reading, but as we go to full-time, it's looking like 1-1.
Go get yourself a limp sip. Thank you very much, Mark. Let's go to Tynecastle. Brian McLaughlin, this could be a vital goal if they're going to hunt out the top two.
A big, big goal, and it could be a big goal for Hearts. You can hear the Hearts fans singing behind me. They now lead by 2-1. Marius Zaliukas with his first goal of the season. A corner swung in from the right-hand side. Up leapt Zaliukas to head the ball past Pernice into the back of the net. Still a minute and a half left here for play at Tynecastle, but Hearts leading by 2-1.
Let's go to Glanford Park. Harry Gratian hasn't had a very productive afternoon when it comes to reporting on goals. You're not that impressed with Derby. What about Scunthorpe? Were they buoyed by their big win in midweek?
Well, they certainly started off very well. I have to say it's been a poor match, 0-0, seconds left here now. Derby are in this relegation scrap, make no bones about it. They've had to thank Bywater for making a string of decent saves, one especially on the hour, denied Duffy. Scunthorpe trying everything. They've got a massive match coming here on Tuesday when they take on Sheffield United. We're seconds away. 0-0.
Yeah, they're a point off Sheffield United. Scunthorpe United, of course, rock bottom of the Championship. United, second from bottom. Mickey Adams yet to find a win as manager of the Blades. Let's talk about the big games at the top that you're watching. Are you going to see a winner at Ellen Road?
Ellen Road, I mean, blimey, both teams have had chances in that one, actually. Leeds probably doing the majority of the pressing. If a winner does come, you probably expect it to be them. But it's end-to-end stuff. And the same with Forest Cardiff as well. Both teams really going for it and chances at either end.
And what about QPR at Deepdale?
Yeah, QPR, I mean, you draw your away games, you win your home games, QPR will get promoted. I don't think QPR have got to go on a really bad run to come out of that top 2. So as long as they don't do that...
It's interesting, we looked at the form table earlier on, wasn't it? At the top 10 form table, they're 10th, you know, and that's these draws that are dragging them down.
But they can afford themselves, you know, as you say, as long as they don't get beaten, they can afford themselves to drop a few points because they've got that lead and they've had such a good year so far.
Yeah, OK. Let's go to St Andrews now and just check in probably for the final time with you, Ivan Gaskell, and that's while the match is being played, of course. Anything interesting to report?
No, not really. 3-0 and no further action of any real note to report. So short and sweet, back to you.
Thank you very much, Ivan. He's got a date. Interesting that no challenge coming from those, you know, no romance from those two ties today. We expected, perhaps not from Sheffield Wednesday, perhaps a little bit more from Brighton.
Yeah, I thought that Brighton might put up a bigger fight than they have done. Obviously, 3 goals behind at half-time was always going to be difficult, but the way they play as well, I mean, they weren't going to change, and Stoke have, it seems, overpowered them today.
I would imagine they'd said they're just what the doctor ordered for Stoke, you know, a team that plays from the back, you know, you can press and squeeze them against better players, yeah, I mean, that's gone according to form, as has the other game with Sheffield Wednesday.
And if you're just joining us, just a reminder that Chelsea, who of course are the current holders of the FA Cup, knocked out by Everton in the lunchtime kick-off, who won 4-3 on penalties. Full-time at the Britannia Stadium. James Mason, tell us all about it.
Indeed, Gabby. Stoke City 3, Brighton and of Albion 0. So Stoke progressed to the quarter-finals for the second season in a row, avoiding a potential banana skin on the way because Brighton came with its reputation for passing football and threatened before kick-off to pass Stoke off the pitch. The reality proved a little different, however, as Stoke's airborne artillery blew the League One leaders away with 3 first-half goals. All were headers. The first, a long throw from Roy Delap, met by John Carew. The second from Jonathan Walters, but this time the result of a fine move on the right. The Seagulls were in disarray, not given a scrap to feast on before the third went in as captain Ryan Shawcross powered home from close range. So Brighton can now focus on promotion. Oh, that's what they'll say, of course. But for Stoke fans, the guys next to me have just asked for Crawley Town in the next round. We'll see. It's ended Stoke 3, Brighton 0.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let's go to Pittodrie. The final whistle blew a few moments ago. Ian Turner's had time to collect himself to tell us all about the 5 goals there.
Yes, a day that Mixo Patalainen and the Kilmarnock players will want to forget very quickly, Gabby. They came to Pittodrie having beaten the Dons twice already this season, but Craig Brown's in charge of Aberdeen now, and that's led to a transformation in the Reds. And today, goals from Vernon, Aluko, McCardle, McGuinness and Maguire from the spot put fourth top Kilmarnock firmly in their place. A win, never mind a margin of victory that Dons fans would not have thought possible 3 months ago. Aberdeen 5, Kilmarnock 0.
That may be well over, but it's not at Tynecastle. Brian McLaughlin, a bit of drama to finish your match.
It certainly is, Gabby. Dundee United have a penalty with just 45 seconds left in the clock. Ruben Palazuelo is sent off for a challenge against David Robertson inside the box, and it's going to be David Goodwillie who's going to be taking the spot kick. The referee Callum Mully just ensuring that the players are all outside the box. But remember, Hearts, they need a win to close the gap on Rangers to 2 points. They win but lead by 2-1, and the penalty save, and the rebound is sent wide by David Goodwillie. So with just seconds left here at Tynecastle, Marion Kello in the Hearts goal probably secures all 3 points for Hearts. It's Hearts 2, Dundee United 1.
Thank you very much, Brian. Let's go to the City Ground now. Full-time whistle is blown there. Andrew James, big win for the home side.
Yes, big win, and the little man Billy Davis has done his arm punching to the galleries. Gabby, Forest winning by 2 goals to 1. A win that they deserved overall. Cardiff had a little spell in the game. They got back into it after Wes Morgan's opener for Forest. They got back into it with a hotly disputed penalty converted by Whittingham. Cardiff felt a free kick should have been given as Forest broke away to score the winner through Robbie Earnshaw, the former Cardiff man, of course. But Forest held on, they had chances to win, and Cardiff once again looked like they might be caving in at just the wrong time. Forest 2, Cardiff 1.
Let's go to Deepdale. The full-time whistle has blown there, and QPR, another draw on the road, Richard Askham.
Another draw, Gabby. A battling draw from Preston as well, who pushed the leaders hard throughout. Physical in midfield with Ashby's muscle, lively up front with Ellington's pace. P&E made a real fight of it today. Barry Nicholson's superb lob cancelling out Heider Helgeson's opener for QPR, who rather coasted through large parts of this game and couldn't find that extra gear when pressing late on. Both sides had chances to win it, but QPR, who haven't won at Deepdale for more than 30 years and struggling to find their best form, may well be happy with a point.
Thank you very much. OK, a huge fifth-round tie at Old Trafford kicking off in around 20 minutes, and there'll be one very tall, excitable BBC presenter cheering on the underdogs, non-league Crawley Town. So it's over to Dan Walker.
Welcome to Old Trafford. The good news is that myself and Mr Lawrence have made it here very safely from Football Focus. Laura's gone in already to do 5 Live. I'm just about to join him as well. You can see quite a few Manchester United fans here, but also about 9,000 have made the trip from Crawley. Now, I've seen Manchester United's team. I'm slightly disappointed they're not weaker than they are. Made 10 changes, I think, but Crawley are supremely confident. And, by the way, Gabby, you should know that Crawley are unbeaten since December the 14th. And perhaps most importantly of all, I have had a dream that the game is goalless until the 85th minute, and then Mr Matthew Tubbs finds himself clear in the penalty area and sclaffs one into the bottom corner. Doesn't even touch the back of the net. Not a great goal, but good enough to take Crawley through into the 6th round of the FA Cup. We shall see what happens, but I'm just about to go inside, so thank you very much for having me on Final Score. It's very nice, and hopefully Crawley can do it, so goodbye.
Dan, thank you very much. Dreams do come true. I'm not sure about that one. 10 changes they have made, Manchester United. Wayne Rooney is on a very youthful looking bench.
Well, we've said in the past there's been 1 or 2 times when they've made changes and people have questioned the strength of the squad players. And there will be still a few questions that remain that need to be answered today. So, there's still a few players with a little bit to prove at Man United, particularly in their squad.
Absolutely. Bebe, Obertan, Gibson. As you say, there's more than one that needs to put in a performance today in the Man United shirt.
OK, thank you for the moment, because the full-time whistle has blown at Elland Road, and Damien Johnson, from the scenes that I could see out the corner of my eye, it looked like Leeds were going to get that last-minute winner. Not to be, though.
Yeah, Billy Painter forced a brilliant save at the end from John Ruddy, but it was a terrific advert, this, for the Championship. 2 accomplished teams really going for it in pursuit of a return to the Premier League. Substitute David Sommer's stunning volley earned Leeds a point after they looked like surrendering all 3. The home side had led through Becchio's bundled effort. They twice hit the woodwork as well in the early stages. But Norwich hung in there. Henry Lansbury drilled home an equaliser, and Wes Hoolahan conjured a second. All this played out on a tricky surface in front of a vociferous full house. It's been like the old days at Elland Road. In the end, Leeds salvaged their point with Sommer's first touch off the bench. Breathtaking stuff.
So Leeds will be 6th, Norwich 5th tonight, and Swansea City, after earning 3 points today, will be sandwiched between Nottingham Forest and Cardiff City. Jason Mohammed saw them cruise to victory over Doncaster Rovers.
That's right, Gabby. Swansea City have no problem scoring. Doncaster Rovers are in free fall. For Brendan Rodgers' Swans, this was just one of those games where everything clicked. The stars were the usual Liberty Stadium A-listers: Scott Sinclair, Ashley Williams and Luke Moore. Next week's blockbuster with Leeds United will be much better than this one. 3-0 it finished here.
Jason, thank you. Let's get then the full classified results with Tim Gudgin.
In the FA Cup, sponsored by Eon, the results of the 4th round replay: Chelsea 1, Everton 1, but Everton win 4-3 on penalties. In the 5th round, Birmingham City 3, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Manchester United and Crawley Town kick off in about 15 minutes. And Stoke City 3, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. In the N-Power Championship, Crystal Palace 1, Sheffield United 0. Ipswich Town 1, Hull City 1. Leeds United 2, Norwich City 2. Millwall 2, Middlesbrough 3. Nottingham Forest 2, Cardiff City 1. Portsmouth 1, Barnsley 0. Preston North End 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Reading 1, Watford 1. Scunthorpe United 0, Derby County 0. And Swansea City 3, Doncaster Rovers 0. In the N-Power League 1, AFC Bournemouth 1, Huddersfield Town 1. Bristol Rovers 1, Oldham Athletic 0. Charlton Athletic 1, Exeter City 3. Colchester United 2, Walsall 0. Hartlepool United 0, Milton Keynes Dons 1. Peterborough United 2, Tranmere Rovers 1. Rochdale's match with Southampton postponed. Swindon Town 0, Carlisle United 1. In League 2, Cheltenham Town 1, Barnet 1. Crewe Alexandra 0, Stevenage 1. Gillingham 1, Bury 1. Hereford United 0, Burton Albion 0. Lincoln City 0, Chesterfield 2. Morecambe 0, Oxford United 3. Northampton Town 1, Aldershot Town 1. Rotherham United's match with Shrewsbury Town postponed. Stockport County 1, Macclesfield Town 4. Torquay United 1, Southend United 1. And Wycombe Wanderers 1, Accrington Stanley 2. In the Blue Square Premier, Altrincham 3, Kettering Town 2. Barrow 2, Mansfield Town 2. Eastbourne Borough 2, Histon 2. Fleetwood Town 3, Grimsby Town 0. Forest Green Rovers 1, Darlington 1. Hayes and Yeading United 1, Southport 0. Rushton and Diamonds match with Bath City postponed. Tamworth 2, AFC Wimbledon 5. And Wrexham 2, Gateshead 7. In the Clydesdale Scottish Premier League, Aberdeen 5, Kilmarnock 0. Hearts 2, Dundee United 1. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 2, St Johnstone 0. And Motherwell 1, Hamilton Academical 0. The Arnbury Scottish Division 1, Cowdenbeath 0, Wraith Rovers 3. Dunfermline Athletic and Ross County match postponed. Greenock Morton 0, Queen of the South 4. Partick Thistles match with Falkirk postponed. And Stirling Albion 0, Dundee 1. Scottish Div 2, Airdrie United 0, Alloa Athletic 2. East Fife 0, Brecon City 0. Forfar Athletics match with Ayr United postponed. Livingston 2, Stenhousemuir 1. Peterhead 1, Dumbarton 2. And Scottish Div 3, Allen Athletic 2, Albion Rovers 2. Arbroath's match with Clyde postponed. East Stirlingshire 0, Stranraer 2. Elgin City 0, Queen's Park 1. And Montrose 1, Berwick Rangers 1. In the Welsh Premier, Carmarthen Town 1, Airbus UK Broughton 2. Newtown 4, Haverfordwest 4. And the New Saints 1, Port Talbot Town 1 is a latest score. In the Carling Premiership, Ballymena United 1, Coleraine 1. Cliftonville 2, Dungannon Swifts 2. Linfield 1, Newry City 1. Lisburn Distillery 3, Donegal Celtic 1. And Portadown 1, Glenavon 1.
OK, let's have a little look then at the table, starting with the Championship. And Queen's Park Rangers have maintained their 5-point advantage. Nottingham Forest now lead a congested pack, with Swansea up to third. Cardiff and Norwich both slipped 2 places. Leeds hold on to the last playoff place for the moment, 2 points ahead of in-form Leicester. At the bottom, no change in the bottom 4. It was a significant win, though, for Crystal Palace over Sheffield United, giving them a 5-point cushion above the relegation zone. Middlesbrough also won to give themselves some breathing space there. To League One, then. Leaders Brighton can concentrate on the league now, can't they, after today's FA Cup defeat? The Seagulls have a cushion of 2 points and 3 games in hand over Bournemouth, who conceded a late equaliser against third-place Huddersfield. Southampton's game was postponed. They've now surrendered 4th place to Peterborough, who beat Tranmere. MK Dons also won to move up to 6th, with Charlton slipping out of the playoff places after losing at home to Exeter. At the bottom, Bristol Rovers won today to move off the foot of the table. Dagenham and Redbridge, who didn't play, now occupy the basement spot, but they do have 3 games in hand over Rovers. Swindon and Walsall both lost to remain in the relegation zone. In League 2, Chesterfield have extended their lead to 8 points. Shrewsbury's match at Rotherham was postponed, although Wycombe failed to take advantage of that. Bury swapped places with playoff rivals Port Vale. No positional changes at the bottom of the table. Within the bottom 5, Barnet are now within a point of Stockport, while Macclesfield's victory has pulled them clear of the relegation places. And to the Blues Square, well, Crawley Town in FA Cup action, of course, today against Manchester United. The leaders, AFC Wimbledon, took full advantage with a 5-2 win at Tamworth. They now lead the way by 6 points, although Crawley do have a massive 5 games in hand. Luton held by Newport last night, while Wrexham were thrashed 7-2 at home by Gateshead. At the bottom, Eastbourne and Histon shared a 2-2 draw, a result that doesn't really help either team. Altrincham move up a place after beating Kettering 3-2. Hayes and Yeading won to move out of the drop zone, with Barrow slipping in after their draw with Mansfield. And the SPL, will Celtic and Rangers meet tomorrow, which allowed Hearts to cut the gap on the top two thanks to a late winner against Dundee United, who missed an even later penalty. The Jambos now trail Rangers by 2 points, although they have played 3 games more. Kilmarnock were thumped 5-0 by Aberdeen, allowing 5th place Motherwell to make up some ground after their win over Hamilton. And that defeat for the Ackies leaves them 5 points adrift at the bottom of the table. They could lose more ground tomorrow afternoon. St Mirren host Hibernian. Let's get some action now. The best of the action from Forest Cardiff with Alistair Mann.
Morgan! Wonderful header. And Nottingham Forest take the lead after Cardiff have had the better chances. Throw it still. Dangerous ball. Alafinjana looking. He claims a penalty. It's given. Alafinjana wins it. And the referee felt that it was a tumble that warranted a penalty. Whittingham against Cam. 1-1. Really good penalty. And it is Nottingham Forest 1, Cardiff 1. Wonderful energy, wonderful athleticism. And here comes Anderson and Earnshaw! Scoring for the second time against Cardiff. The last time for Norwich, this time for Nottingham Forest. It's a huge game, it's a big goal. What will it mean for Forest?
Well, you can catch all of today's goals from the Football League tonight on BBC One. Mark Chapman, the host, at 11:50. Meanwhile, Manish is on BBC Two with highlights of today's opening game in the Cricket World Cup. India taking on Bangladesh in Dhaka. And don't forget, there's a Match of the Day 2 special for you tomorrow. The only game of the weekend in the Premier League. I'll be at the Hawthorns for a keenly contested Black Country derby. Roy Hodgson's first game in charge of West Brom. We're on BBC One tomorrow night at 5 to 11. Your highlights from today, would Chelsea going out of the FA Cup not necessarily be a highlight, but would that be one of the big headlines of the day?
It's the big story. I didn't expect too many shocks in the FA Cup this weekend, but that is one. You'd have expected Chelsea to progress in that, so that's probably the big story for me.
And Steve, the Championship just building up to a brilliant climax as ever.
It is. I mean, right, top, middle and bottom, it's fantastic. It'll be as competitive as ever, and as you said, games we saw today, great advertisement for that.
Yeah, it was.
OK, thank you very much, gentlemen. Enjoyed your company in this shorter final score today. Live commentary of Manchester United Crawley on Radio 5 Live right now. At 7:10, it's Mike Parry and Robbie Savage for 6:06. He's just played his 500th league game today. I'm sure he might mention that. Have your say there, and we'll see you next time on Final Score. Thanks for your company. Bye.